Hello, my sweet and precious Algebra 1 students. I hope you're doing well. Today we're going to be talking about Lesson 43, third edition, Saxon Algebra 1. Today we're going to be talking about least common multiple and least common multiple of algebraic expression. All right, so example 1. If you are in my class, by the way, you need to be writing everything down that I write down. So for example number 1, let's say we have to find the least common multiple of 8, 15, and 100. 8, 15, and 100. What we could sit here and do is, I'll try to get that. I don't know what to do about that shadow. I'm sorry, guys. I could sit here and I could write down all of the multiples of all these numbers, right? So we would have 8, 16, 24, all those good things. And then 15, 30, 45, blah, 100, 200, 300, 400. However, there's actually an easier way to do this. To find the least common multiple of these numbers, what we're going to do is we're going to take 8. We're going to break that down. We know that that's 2 times 4, and that's 2 and 2. So it's 2 to the third power, right? Then we know 15 is 5 and 3. 5 and 3. Those are prime numbers, so we're breaking them down. Let's go in order. 3, 5. Then the next one is 100. We know that that's 10 and 10. 2 and 5, 2 and 5. So this is 2 squared and 5 squared. So how do I find the least common multiple using this method? What we end up doing is we're going to look at our bases. We have a base 2 here, right? And a base 2 here. There are 3 2's here and 2 2's here. You have to use the maximum number. So we're going to use 3 2's. So our least common multiple is going to have 2 times 2 times 2, 3 2's. Our next base is 3. There's 1 here, none here, none here. So we have to use at least 1. Okay? Then we have our base 5. We have none, 1, and 2. So we have to use at least 2. Whoops. All right, guys. So now what you can do is we can multiply all of that together. We get 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 5 times 5. That gets us 600, if you can see that, 600. So our least common multiple of these things would be 600. Now, if we were counting by eighths, we'd be counting forever if we didn't do it this method. So that is the easier way of doing that. Okay, so let's talk about least common multiple for 30, 75, and 80. Example 2, 30, 75, and 80. All right, guys, so we're gonna do 30, we're gonna break that down again. We know that that's 3 and 10, 2 and 5, bam, bam, bam. We got 2, 3, 5. Now we have 75. We know that that is 25 and 3, right? This is 5 and 5 and 3. So 75 is, my dog's got something. Boris, come here. What do you got? It's probably my shoe. Ugh. Puppies, I swear. We got 2 5s, right? I'll just do it like this, 5 and 5. Okay. Then I've got 80 over here. Can we see that? Yep. So we got 8 and 10. This is 2 and 4, 2 and 2, bam, 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 2 and 5. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 2's, 2 to the 4th, comma, 5. All right, so our least common multiple, I'll use some space down here, least common multiple, we're gonna start with our base 2's. We have 1, none, and 4. Dang it, we have to have at least 4. So 2 to the 4th, 3, we have 1, 1, and none, so we have to have at least 1. 5, we have 1, 1, and 2, so we have to have at least 2. I keep writing 55, comma, 5. All right, let's use our nifty calculator here. 2 to the 4th, we get 16 times 3 times 5 gives me 1,200. So our least common multiple for these ones would be 1,200. Now, you can always find a multiple of these by multiplying this times this times this. If I were to do that, I would get, I would get 180,000, which is a lot larger than 1,200. So this is why it's a better way to do this. Now, how does that apply to algebra? So on these next ones, what we're going to be doing are, you are going to find the least common multiple of algebraic expressions. So for number There's one more example in here if you wanted to look. There it is. Example 4. This is a little bit different, but there's one more of those number ones if you need to look. It's on page 173. Find the least common multiple of 15a squared b and 10ab3. Let's deal with those numbers separately. The least common multiple of 15 and 10, right? Well, we know 15, we could do this multiples, 15, 30, 45, 10, 20, 30. Aha, our least common multiple is 30. So the least common multiple will be 30. Now we gotta deal with those numbers. We always have to take the max number. This has 2 A's, this has 1 A. So we have A squared. This has 1 B, this has 3 B's, so we have to have at least 3 B's. So guys, this is gonna be important when we're adding fractions that have variables in the denominator, you'll see how we need to find that least common multiple so that we can have a common denominator, right? So let's try another example. Example 5. Least common multiple of 4x2m and 6x3m. Well, 4 and 6 are small enough numbers. We could do 4, 8, 16. Look, skipped one. 12, 16. 6 is 6. 12, bing, bingo. Got one right there, right? We could do 18 if you wanted to keep going on. But 12 is going to be our least common multiple. So 12, and then I have 2 x's here, 3 x's here, so I have to have at least 3 x's. So this is a lot different than factoring, where you have to have you can only take out the smallest number. Now we're looking at the largest number. An m here, so I have an m. All right, guys, the example or the practice problems A through D are on page 174. Go ahead and pause the video, give those a shot, and let's see what we got. Practice A. 14, find the least common multiple of these items. Least common multiple. All right, 14 we know is 2 and 7. That's it, because those are prime numbers. 20 we know is 2 and 10. 10 is 2 and 5, so we know 2, 2, 5. Then we've got, I'll do 30 down here. 30 is 3 and 10. We know this is 2 and 5, so 30 is 2, 3, 5. All right, let's look at our bases. We have base 2. We've got 1 here, 2 here. So our least common multiple, we have to have at least 2. So 2 times 2. All right, so then we have our, I should circle these so you can see them. Maybe so I can see them, I don't know. We got our 2's. Now we have our 3's. We have a 3 here, none here, none here, so we have to have at least 1 3. Base 5, we have 1 here, none here. We have to have at least 1. 7, no 7, no 7. We have to have at least 1. All right, so then we grab our handy dandy calculator and we say, all righty, let's see. 4 times 3 times 5 times 7 gives me 420 or 420. 420. So your least common multiple with these things is 420. All right, let's take a look at B. So for B, we've got to do the same thing of 75, 120, oops, 120, and 315. All right, let's break these down. 75 we know is 25 and 3. All right, 5 and 5. So we know 75 is going to be 3, 5, and 5. 120 we know is 12 and 10. This is going to be 3 and 4, 2 and 2, 2 and 5, 1, 2, 3 2's. We'll do this. 1, 2, 3, then a 3 and a 5. You kind of see that. Sorry, there's a little shadow there. 3, 15, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I know that 9 is going to go into this number because those added up to 9 and 9 goes into 9. So 315 divided by 9 gives me 35. So 9 and 35. This we know is 3 and 3. 35 we know is 3. Oh, not 3. Let's try that again. 5 and 7. All right, so 315 we know is 3, 3, 5, and 7. Sorry about that. So for our least common multiple, let's start with our base 2's. This one has 3 2's, so we have to have at least 3 2's. So 1, 2, 3. Let's look at our 3's now. 1, 1, 2. So I have to have at least 2. 2. Now I'm looking at 5's. 2, 1, and 1, so I have to have at least 5. Then our 7s, we've got 1, and that's it, so I have to have at least 1. So I'm going to take this big old number, I'm going to throw that into my calculator. All right, multiply that all together, you get 12,600 as your least common multiple. Least common, definitely going to be smaller than if we multiplied all those numbers together. That'll give us a multiple, but not the least. All right, so then let's look at C. We have 4a to the third, b4, and we have 6, a10, b2. All right, so 4 and 6, we've got 4, 8, 12, 16. For 6, we have 6, 12, keep going on, but we see that we get a common one, 12. So our number is going to be 12. Here I have 3 A's, here I have 10 A's, I gotta have at least 10. B2, B4, I gotta have at least 4. All right, let's look at D. D is 12x to the fourth, y2, m3, and 20x6, y, m3. Now remember, right here, this is a 1 attached here. That 3 is only attached to the m, not to the y. Let's deal with those numbers. We've got 12, 24. Actually, you know what, 12 and 20? Let's do this. 12 we're going to break down as 3 and 4, 2 and 2. 20 we can break down as 2 and 10, which is 2 and 5. Okay, so 12 has 1, 2 2s. This 20 has 2 2s, so we have to have our least common multiple has to have at least 2 2s. This has a 3, so this does not, so we have to have at least 1 3. This has a 5, this does not, we have to have at least 1 5. So we multiply all those together, we get 12 times 5, yep, all right, 60. And so our least common multiple with all those numbers is going to be 60. Now we look at these guys. I have 4 x's, 6 x's, I have to have at least 6. Y, I have 2 y's, 1 y, I have to have at least 2. 3 m's, I gotta have at least 3 m's. And those are the practice problems. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, guys, I will see you in class. Thank you.